Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I want to come to you with, I guess, what is now a part 4 to the ATF Pistol Brace Amnesty video series that I have been making. Originally I talked about how I applied for the amnesty tax stamp, I got approved, I put a stock on this thing, a vertical foregrip, and I just wanted to get good information out to people and say, hey, I know there's a lot of misinformation out there. People are saying, it's a trap. Listen, I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do. I personally don't care. I just want you to have all of the up-to-date and correct information and none of this fear-mongering stuff you're getting on other channels. So once again, I brought out my little prop here, which is of course my pistol. Well, it used to be a pistol and now it is officially an SBR. And once again, yes, you can put a stock and a vertical foregrip on it if you want, because the ATF is saying that a pistol was already assembled as an SBR and you just amnesty register it. So it doesn't matter if it has a brace or a stock on it. But I know I'll continue to get questions about that. All right, so there's a few issues that I want to talk about today. The first issue is going to be the deadline. Now, we all have until May the 31st to really decide what we're going to do. Now, I know that Silencer Shop currently has said that you only have a few days left. And what that means is for them to help you with the Form 1. If you've never done a Form 1 and you want help navigating this whole thing and you want to pay somebody to do it, Silencer Shop can help you. But there's only a couple of days left for them to do that because they have to go through the piles and piles of paperwork, make sure everything gets signed and dotted, especially if you've never done this before and you have no idea what is required and what to do. They offer a great service. But I'm going to ask you guys, don't go over there and harass them. They're not telling you what to do or what not to do. I've actually heard that some people are really upset with some of these FFLs and these gun companies and like Silencer Shop because they're helping people, if they want to go through with this, actually navigate the system correctly. So if you disagree and you're one of the I will never comply people, or it's a trap, or they're all feds or whatever, just be a good person, ignore them, and don't harass them. But when it comes to the deadline, if you want help, most people are saying you only have a few more days. But as an individual, if you're going to do it on your own, you have until May the 31st. Now, that comes to another issue, which is, where in the world are all these injunctions and these court cases? You know, I've mentioned that in past videos, and people have said, Jason, you're an absolute idiot. There's lots of court cases. I'm watching all these other YouTube channels. Well, you guys are like the passengers on the Titanic waiting for the RMS Carpathia to come rescue you. It might get there, but it's going to be too late. If you guys know the story of the Titanic, there was one ship, it was like 50 or 55 miles away, that answered the call, that answered the SOS, but it got there too late to save so many people. Now, this pistol brace amnesty might be overturned in the courts. We might get an injunction, and I'm going to emphasize, might get an injunction. You guys know that I think it is unconstitutional, and I think eventually it will be overturned. But until then, what are you going to do? I know so many YouTubers and the legal scholars and all that are saying, here it comes, great news, Congress this and this court case that. We're getting close to being 30 days out. Where is it? Where's the help? I told you guys, our court systems work too slow. So if you are one of those people that are trying to decide, well, I'm going to wait to see how this pans out, what's going to go on? Your deadline is coming up pretty soon. And once again, I am not telling you what to do or what not to do. If you don't want to comply, don't comply. My suggestion is, if you're not going to comply, go ahead and take that pistol stabilizing brace off your gun anyway and pop on a stock, go down to the range and show all the law enforcement officers, post on Facebook and say, hey, I'm not complying. But if you do plan on complying or registering under this amnesty, you have until May the 31st. And let me tell you, the closer to the deadline, the wait will be longer, and most likely the NFA system where you can do the e-file stuff is going to be down because this is a very antiquated system. Let me tell you, the website is like it was designed in the 1990s and you're on dial-up. That is how slow this thing is. So if you're going to wait until the very last day at 11 o'clock to fill out your form, You might get in under the buzzer, but let me tell you, the website probably is not going to be working and you are going to miss that deadline. So if you are one of those people that are thinking, I'm going to wait and see what happens. Well, the deadline is coming up. Honestly, there's nothing coming down the pipe of possible injunctions. Regardless of what other YouTube channels are telling you, they're going to say, great news this, Congress this politician said that. I really just don't see it because our court system works so slow. So you got to have a plan B. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in this update is as time has gone on, it has come to my attention that some people are actually getting denied, but it's not really that big of a deal. And they're saying, hey, you need to reapply other ways, or this gun doesn't meet the necessity to be amnesty because it doesn't have the qualifications. So I want to talk about pictures. I will tell you that a lot of people have sent me emails, they have contacted me through Instagram and my Facebook page, and the one question that I think now I get more than any other question is about pictures. Do I really need to send in a picture? Do I have to send in a picture of the whole gun? I don't want to send in a picture of the whole gun. And personally, I don't understand why this is such a big step for people. If you're going to do this and they're saying, hey, we may require pictures, and you're like, I don't want to send in pictures. That's fine. Some people have gotten approved with no pictures whatsoever, okay? I think this is a examiner on examiner basis is really how it goes. Some people have gotten requests for pictures. Some people have just sent in pictures of the engraving, which of course is just what is on the receiver, whether it says Colt or Anderson Manufacturing or CZ or whatever it is with the serial number. Some people have sent in pictures of the complete gun with the brace. Of course, this one has a stock on it right now, but they would send in pictures with the complete brace and with the engraving. For some reason, a lot of people are really stuck on that picture thing, and I'm not really sure why, because the ATF already has all the information that they need to know. So for example, if you bought the gun as a stripped receiver and built it, they already know it was a stripped receiver when you bought it because you've already complied. You filled out a 4473. And if you don't think the ATF doesn't have that information or knowledge of what companies make strip receivers and how they're sold and how they're built, you guys are absolutely crazy. So the reason I think some people are getting these denials, and by the way, I'm gonna go ahead and show you and put in a little overlay right now of what people are posting on some of the Facebook groups of their denials and what the ATF is saying in the bottom section, saying this does not qualify for this, and if you want to SBR it, you need to fill out a proper NFA Form 1 and pay the $200 tax. It is my understanding that depending on the examiners, and what I'm noticing is that people that are not submitting pictures of the guns with the braces have a potential of getting denied, especially if it was a gun that was built from a stripped receiver. What I think people are doing is they're getting into this gray area of this amnesty. They're saying, hey, I have a stripped receiver at home and I want a free SBR. I'm just gonna go ahead and fill out the form and say it's a braced pistol. Well, the ATF is going, we know there's a bunch of people out there with stripped receivers and you're just trying to not pay the tax, but it's not really a braced pistol. The law or the regulation in this case is very clear. This is an amnesty for a braced pistol. So my suggestion is, if you have a receiver only with no upper receiver, make sure that you submit a picture with the brace. It shows the gun is a braced pistol. If you're trying to sneak one under the rug, you're probably going to get caught. Now, they're not going to come to your house. They're not going to come and arrest you. They're not going to say, oh my gosh, you're a felon. They're just simply going to disapprove the form and say, hey, you got to do this over. You got to pay the tax because it doesn't qualify under the amnesty. But as I said, you can roll the dice. Some NFA examiners appear to be doing it where it doesn't matter. They don't need pictures. And some do. Why? I don't know. I think they're trying to get a little bit smarter about this and realize that just like when it came to the braces, and I told you, the braces always fell into a gray area. You can say, they're illegal, they're not stocks, but let's just be honest, you were using them as stocks. You knew exactly what they were. The ATF knew exactly what they were. You can say, it's a brace, I need it. No, it's a stock. You just didn't want to pay the $200. And now we have this issue. Well, now people just have these stripped receivers or just receivers that are part of other guns. Like, I'm just going to amnesty register it. But they're not braced pistols. The regulation clearly says braced pistol. So it is my advice to anybody, especially as the deadline is approaching, if you plan on going through with this, whether you call it an amnesty or a forbearance or whatever you want to call it, I would highly suggest that you include a picture of the complete firearm. And by that I mean if it's a lower receiver, just the lower receiver with the engraving and with the brace. As I said, I am hearing stories of more and more denials and disapprovals because people are not submitting pictures, and the ATF is now saying this does not qualify. Now, if you try to go back and slap on a pistol brace on a disapproved form or a disapproved firearm, they might continue to deny it because now they know what you're trying to do. Originally it was disapproved, then you slap on a brace, now you're changing what it initially was. So I would avoid that. But this is just my personal opinion when it comes to this. And this is what I'm hearing. And I just want to get you guys the best information possible. So once again, I have a disclaimer. I am not telling you what to do or what not to do. I personally think this whole thing is unconstitutional. And I also believe that eventually it will be overturned in court. I do not believe it is going to be overturned or we're going to get some type of injunctive relief before May the 31st of 2023. So you guys need to start deciding what you're going to do. I know that some people originally started off of, I'm mad, I will not comply, the ATF can't create law. Okay, all that is fine, but now we're down to the wire. And it's time for you to make that final decision. You can't be a keyboard warrior anymore. Now, you do have the ability to not comply. You can take that brace off and just run it as a pistol with no stabilizing brace. That's perfectly fine. Or you can amnesty register it. I don't care what you do. I just don't want you to get in trouble in the future. I'm just telling you what the regulation and the law says, what they're doing, what I'm hearing, and this is the information that I have. So, time is running out. If you need help and you want to go through Silencer Shop, you only have a couple of days left as I'm publishing this video. Otherwise, you have until May the 31st to decide what you're going to do. If you're going to do it on your own through the eForm system, don't forget you're going to need fingerprints as an ETF file or fingerprint cards. You're going to need a passport photo that you're going to have to upload. So you guys need to start planning. You will not be able to do it May the 31st at 11 p.m. That's not going to work. It's not going to happen. The site will be down. I promise you, you got to start making some decisions. I honestly just don't see any injunctive relief coming before the implementation of this. So once again, you guys have to decide what you're going to do. And if you're going to try to do a braced pistol and it doesn't have an upper receiver, I highly recommend, to make the process easy for you, because I don't personally care, make sure you submit a photo or attach it to the form showing it is a firearm with an attached stabilizing brace. If it's just a stripped receiver and you think you're going to get one under them, it may or may not work. I'm just telling you what I'm hearing, what I'm seeing in the NFA groups on Facebook and on Reddit. And that's the information I have, and this is my latest update. So, once again, I hope this answers some questions. I hope it helps you and it gives you good information. I'm not fear-mongering. I'm just telling you guys what's happening, and I respect your decisions. I don't care what you do, but if you want to be doing this and you don't want to get in trouble, I just want to get that information to help you. So let me know in the comment section below if you have any other questions or concerns. I'll do my best to answer them with what I personally know. So, as always, thanks for watching.